3.
Good evening. Welcome to the Chatham Township Candidate Forum, sponsored by the Chatham Area Chamber of Commerce and the Chatham Area Public Library District. I'm Larissa Hanson, the president of the Chatham Area Chamber of Commerce. And tonight we are pleased to welcome candidates for the April 6th, 2021 election for the contested Chatham Township seats. Assisting with tonight's virtual forum is Amy Byers, director of the Chatham Area Public Library. There are 4 seats that will be elected to the Board of Trustees, and we have 4 of the 5 candidates here tonight. No, 3 of the candidates for that position here tonight. In the order that they receive, that they'll appear on the ballot, we'll have Democratic candidate Diane Roberts, and then Republicans Tim Alexander, Barry Dees, Roy Martin, and Dennis Wilkinson. Running for Township Supervisor are Democratic candidate Diana Carlisle and Republican candidate Justin Dasto. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves, followed with questions to each candidate, and finishing with 2 minutes to make closing remarks. We've accepted questions from the community for this forum and provided them to me to ask each candidate. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to provide their answers. Candidates whose answers exceed those 2 minutes will be muted during this forum. So to start, we'll have everyone introduce themselves, and we will begin with Diane Roberts.
So this is my 2 minutes right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Okay, great. So thank you, Larissa and Amy. I'm happy to be here, although a little nervous. I'm Diane Roberts, and I'm running for one of the 4 trustee positions that are on the ballot on April 6th. And I wanted to share a little bit of information about myself. I'm a Chatham Township resident. I've lived here for 20 years, 10 years as a renter and 10 years as a proud homeowner. My son attended Chatham schools and graduated from GHS. And in fact, he just graduated last spring from UIS. I'm a state employee. I've worked for the state of Illinois 25 years. I'm currently working at the Illinois Department of Public Health, which is a busy place during COVID. And prior to working at the Illinois Department of Public Health, I worked at the Department of Healthcare and Family Services, HFS. One of the programs that HFS is responsible for is Medicaid. And the reason I bring that up is I was a budget analyst at HFS and was responsible for provider budget lines in the Illinois state budget. And so I bring that up to say I'm comfortable with big numbers and budgets. Personally, I'm very active with my church. I've served as treasurer for 1-year stints over time. Pretty much help out in any way I can, serve on the board of directors, anything that needs to be done. I'm very committed to my church. Oh no. Okay, and so I see I have 30 seconds left. I didn't think I'd use that much. The main thing I do want to bring up here is that I have been attending the Chatham Township board meetings for over 4 years as a member of the public. And during that time, I have learned a lot about what the Chatham Township Board does. I have tremendous respect for their work, and I would like to participate and represent you on that board. Good on time?
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have Roy.
Hi, I'm Roy Martin, and I'm running for a village or a township trustee. I've got 3 kids here in Chatham, 8, 10, and 13 years old, all attending schools. Lived here roughly 10 years. I'm from Michigan, lived in Wisconsin, Ohio, Charlotte, and now here. And this is where I call home. I have a background in engineering. My specialty is actually negotiating contracts and setting up suppliers around the world. So I've traveled a lot, been in a lot of weird situations, a lot of fun situations, and deal with numbers almost every single minute of my life. Do a lot of work in Asia, a lot of time on the phone, during the night. But I think this is kind of a cool opportunity to try something different put my skills to the test for a township instead of a business at this point. I really like what the board has done thus far. I want to try to keep that conservative approach, I guess, with regard to budgeting and coming under budget, lowering taxes. I love that. So, I want to work towards that. I want to keep it going.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have Dennis.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, good evening. My name is Dennis Wilkinson, and I'd like to start out by thanking the Chamber of Commerce and the library for this opportunity to speak and answer some questions. My wife and I, we've lived in Chatham since 2013. We have 3 children in our home. 2 are in Glenwood High, and one's in Chatham Elementary School. My wife's actually from the area. She grew up in Chatham. In my professional life, I've worked for Hanson Professional Services for the last 20 years. With Hanson, I serve as a professional and structural engineer on projects in the local area and actually across the country and overseas from time to time. I also serve as Hanson's practice lead for all structural and geotechnical projects, services nationwide. So I have a lot of experience with managing people and budgets and those sort of things. I've also had the pleasure of serving on the board of directors for a local charitable organization, Mercy Communities, for the last 8 years, and I've learned a lot with them. I've decided to run for trustee to serve the community. That's really provided a great place to raise a family, and it's been just a great place to live. I also think that it's important to provide some representation for residents that live outside the village limits. And my wife and I currently do. We live on a little, we call it a hobby farm, just west of town. As a trustee, I would use my experience as an engineer, my leadership and teamwork experience gained with Hanson, and while serving on the board of directors for the charity, to keep the township running smooth and to just represent the community that I'm proud to call home.
Thank you. Next, we have Diana Carlisle.
Good evening, I'm Diana Carlisle, and I'm running for Chatham Township Supervisor. I want to thank everyone for allowing me the last 4 years to serve as Township Trustee. In the past 4 years, I have helped allocate previously unused community outreach funds, making the township more visible to the community. I've advocated for open and accessible communication, implementing a website, and bringing more substantial contracts to the township needs. I have actively been a voice fighting to get general assistance program back to the community. I know our community is best when we support each other in good times and bad. I am a lifelong resident living on the same street my entire life, next door to the house that my mother was born in. I'm a graduate of Glenwood High School. After a 33-year career at AT&T, I retired in 2011. I remain an active and a proud member of IBEW 21. Giving back to our community is vital to me. I currently serve as the treasurer of the Ball Chatham Senior Center and volunteer there as well. I am also serving as the president of the Springfield and Central Illinois Trades and Labor Council. My service to our community and the larger Sangamon County community inspires me to continue making Chatham a great place to grow up in, live, and raise a family. As a working mom, I am proud to say I've raised 2 Glenwood graduates who graduated from college and graduate school. I am ready to continue to fight for our community as a supervisor. I have the time and passion to serve Chatham Township. Local governments are the key as we navigate a changing world. I ask for your support in the upcoming consolidated election on April 6th. Help me bring township government back to the people.
Thank you. And finally, we have Justin.
Hi, everyone. First, let me apologize. My office is in the basement, and there are 2 rowdy little boys and a brand new puppy right above my head. So I apologize for any excess noise. But anyway, my name is Justin Dasto. I am running for Chatham Township Supervisor. I have been involved in Chatham Township in one way or another for the last 8 years or so. Started with the building board of managers. The township owns the community center on the square. So I started there. And I'm not afraid to say this, but the place was a mess when the new board took over. And we really turned that place around. Me and the other 2 board members that were there, we were able to get more revenue by changing the prices and getting more people in there. We were also able to lower taxes because of that. So that was huge. Because of my, I don't know if you want to say, success there, they asked me to be appointed to the township board of trustees, which I accepted, and so I served on the board. It was a really cool experience. We were able to lower taxes there as well every year that I was on the board. I know it goes fast, doesn't it? Dang, 30 seconds. And now I serve as clerk. Look, I don't have enough time to go into what all the clerk does, but I actually run the website that the board had in place. And on top of that, I do a lot of other duties and help out the current supervisor. So I am very experienced in that way. I have to mention, I have a lovely wife and 2 lovely kids. And like I said before, a puppy now. And, you know, we're busy, but we're having fun. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start by asking questions of the everybody. Like I said, the first question is for everybody, and it is, what would you like citizens to know about the township and how it affects them? What it does, how it affects the citizens here. We're going to go actually in reverse order, which means we're going to start with Justin Dasto and go in that direction.
And again, the time is 2.5 minutes or
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. So how I look at the township, and everybody can look at it differently, but I kind of look at it as an extension of the county. There's a lot of nooks and crannies all over the county that the county just doesn't have the time and resources to dedicate to that area. And townships make up that. We do a great job with our general assistance. We do a great job with our road and bridge, and we do a great job with the assessing in the area. So those are the main functions of a township. What was the second part of the question?
And how does the township affect the citizens of the Chatham area?
Well, along with all the things I just mentioned, keep up with roads. And a lot of people might not know this, but we do have small intergovernmental agreements with the village of Chatham, and we help them out when we can, whether it be road and bridge equipment or anything like that, or just time of our few full-time or part-time employees. And we really help out. We try to help out as much as we can in the area. I think the general assistance has been very effective in this area, and people that really need it get the help that they need. And if anyone ever needs help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. You know, we'll try to get you the help you need. It's not a problem. We'll figure it out. But really the road and bridge and the assessor's office, they do a phenomenal job in this area. Phenomenal job. Like, if you take our road and bridge commissioner and ask him to take you on a tour of the difference between the roads in one township and our roads, you would be shocked at the difference. I mean, he does a phenomenal job. And okay, I'll just give back my time. That's fine.
Okay. Thank you. Next up is Diana Carlisle.
Okay. I feel that the township government is the lowest level of government to the people. Being the 5 levels of government, it's the most effective government that gives back to the constituents. As Justin said, it has to do with the property assessments, the road and bridge, and the general assistance program. And it's unbelievable the amount of people that don't even know township government exists anymore. I would like to see more awareness brought to that. There are programs that we could implement and utilize and make our, township greater. One of the things that we have going for us in the village of Chatham is we have 2 townships that serve it, hence the name Ball Chatham School District, because we have the 2 townships that serve Chatham. And I really think a lot of people don't understand that. So I feel that that's beneficial to our community as well. I feel that I've been very engaged in my role as trustee and participated in trainings and mentoring with the current supervisor, Richard Treat. I've worked on several outside issues to help enhance the bills and things, working on the cell phone issues that we have and the internet issues. And I feel like you really truly need to be committed and have the time to give to the township, because it is the most effective level of government. We always have a balanced budget, which I'm proud to say that that is something that the board has been able to reduce the tax levies for the last 4 years. And I'm proud to be part of that. So,
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so next we have Dennis Wilkinson.
All right, yeah, I mean, I'd like to, I guess, bring up a few things that were already said, but, I think a lot of people don't understand what township government is, and what they do for people. And, if you look at the record that this township has, I think it's great. Lowering taxes is a big one, right? And that's a big portion of what's done with the assessor. The other thing that I've always found very impressive is how our roads and bridges look. Being a structural engineer, I work on a lot of roadway projects and bridges, and I've always been very impressed. And to be honest with you, when I moved to Chatham, I don't know that I fully understood the township government model, and never really paid attention to it, I'll be honest. And it's been a neat experience to see how that functions. Another thing that I really think that's neat, and I wish people knew, is how the budget has been balanced. And do people realize that taxes have been lowered, which is very important. And just the transparency that the township has with expenses and just being able to provide information, open information, they'll open the books for you. I mean, I think that's really important. And, I think more people should understand what their township government does for them. So.
Excellent, thank you. Next we have Roy Martin.
Well, it's interesting. Township here in Illinois, maintains 70,001 miles of the thoroughfares through the state. That's 53% of them. And to think that such a small little entity in each spot can do that much work, I highly doubt anyone realizes that. So it's a lot to be said, what the township works behind the scenes almost. There was a great example of, in this past board meeting of the community center maybe needing assistance, and the township could potentially step in and help that. I don't know if the community necessarily understands all those intricacies, but I think it's pretty neat. I would like to see the township help and assist more in that way, to where community centers, other community events need assistance. It is wonderful that we are under budget. It's hard to say that anywhere really, but if we have, a budget available, let's try to assist some more. Doesn't mean we have to spend every penny we have, but I think it would be great to even improve Chatham community more and more.
Thank you. And finally, we have Diane Roberts.
It's been a while. Could you repeat the question for me?
It's, what would you like citizens to know about the township and how its activities affect them?
Well, I would like the citizens to know what the township is. I feel like I spend a lot of time doing that when I'm canvassing for election and in my interactions with people in the community. As they said before, it's kind of hidden. It's not real public and not everyone knows what it is. And I find that when I explain what the township is responsible for, it becomes very relevant to them when they know that the township is responsible for assessing the taxes on their property. And when they know that they're responsible for those roads and bridges outside the village. General assistance program, I don't get a lot of questions from people on that, but I can see when I discuss this with people that they understand the importance of it. And so I think that answers the question for you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Diane. All right, the next question is, what is the biggest opportunity that you see for the township moving forward? The first person to answer this question will be Roy Martin.
I think one of the biggest opportunities is what I touched on before. So if we have a budget and we're coming under it, I think that's wonderful, and I would like to stay under it. I would love to continue to lower taxes. If there are some room, or if there is room in the budget to assist more people within the community, whatever that may be, I think that that's where we need to step up. Again, you know, the community center, I think it's a wonderful place. We were there, like that's where the board meets. So, you know, things of that nature, if we have the ability, we need to be able to step up and assist this community.
Okay, thank you. Next is Diane Roberts.
I think one thing I'd like to see us stretch out and do more is more collaboration with the other governmental entities and volunteer groups in Chatham. I think that would go a long way in getting our presence wider, maybe co-sponsoring events, letting them know. And I would like reporting, I would like to research and share with the other board members what's going on in these other places so that we are all informed about what's going on. So I would say a big goal would be outreach and inreach to collaborate more with those other parts of the village.
Okay, thank you. And Dennis Wilkinson.
Yeah, I mean, I think a good opportunity is one that's we've already been operating in this way, you know, in the township, but to continue to keep taxes low, I mean, I think is important, and you know, to keep have a responsible budget and keep those taxes low. But I do like the ideas of you know, providing more opportunities, you know, to use that money for outreach and whatnot. But we need to do it in a responsible way to keep those taxes low.
Thank you. And Justin.
Biggest opportunity. So, as everyone knows, it's been a very difficult year. The biggest opportunities, they change. And right now, what my biggest concern is the general assistance, because when everything starts hopefully getting back to normal, some of these benefits these people have been receiving from the state will trickle down to the lowest level of government, which is Chatham Township. And I would like to be able to be prepared to help these people out when we can. I would like to be on time with timely assessments of property. And I want to keep the roads and bridges clear. When on snow days, I want to be able to, I want the township to function so efficiently that no one even knows that we exist. If that makes sense. Like because in my work, like my boss always tells me, he's like, you're doing a great job because I never hear any complaints. And that's what I want in Chatham Township as well. I want everything to run so efficiently and so smoothly that we never have to worry about a complaint or anything like that. Not that I don't want the township to be more out there and in society and people be more aware of what we provide. But if we do our job, and if we do it efficiently, then these people are going to get what they need. And the website is a great resource. Unfortunately, right now, there's not enough on there for people to get what they need. And hopefully, if I get on there, we can make some changes and make it a little more efficient and get to people what they need. Sorry.
Thank you. Diana Carlisle? Oh, no, you're muted.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
How's
okay.
that? Is that better?
That's perfect,
Okay.
yes.
Sorry. I was trying to keep down on that background noise. I feel that we have a great opportunity before us because we have been a well-ran township. Our budget's always to the penny. And us having those opportunities and lowering the taxes, we have the opportunity to continue to grow in the community and be a bigger presence by doing more outreach, as several other people have mentioned. I think it would be an asset for us. We currently have an intergovernmental agreement that we had for our general assistance program that was with a Capital Township, and then in the last year, Capital Township moved that intergovernmental agreement to Sangamon County. So now our constituents, if need, they have to go to the Sangamon County Public Health Department and because of COVID, they've had to do all these things online or over the telephone, which I feel is a very disadvantage to them at this time, especially when most people are in need. I feel that we could bring this back. It is the role of the supervisor to handle the general assistance cases. So I feel it's very important to bring that back to the township in Chatham, and for us to manage our own constituents without, if they're in need, not to have them have due stress to trying to make an appointment or us having a caseworker come out here and take care of their needs. So I think that's a great opportunity for us to bring that back to Chatham Township and serve our people here. And like I said, also with the resources that we now have an assessor that is going to actually be an elected assessor for our township. We will no longer have to have contracted work, which is another benefit and opportunity that Chatham Township will have that we haven't had. And I look forward to serving. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. The last question for everybody is, what is the biggest challenge? So we've talked about opportunities that stand before you. What obstacles stand in the way? What is the biggest challenge that you see that the township faces in the immediate future? We're going to start with Dennis Wilkinson.
Based on some comments I've heard tonight, it sounds like some of the bigger challenges that we'll face as we come out of the pandemic and people continue to need help and for that community outreach. I mean, to me, that sounds like a pretty big challenge. Another challenge that we have is trying to, provide all the services and keep everybody happy and keep those complaints down, like Justin mentioned. I think those are challenges that have been handled well over the years, and I hope to, if I'm elected to a trustee, to continue to, help complete those services and keep people happy and provide those services that people need.
Thank you. Next, we have Diane Roberts.
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges is the possibility that township government goes away completely. There has been efforts in the past few years to roll township. We have so many levels of government in Illinois. We maybe have more than many other states. And there has been efforts to remove the township level of government and roll that into county. And after having sat through and listened and participated in what the township does for 4 years, I think that would be a real challenge and a real loss for our community. Because I just don't think if the county takes over the things that we're doing in our township board, that it will be done as well. Because I think we are doing things well. I think we're very careful stewards of the taxpayers' funds. I say we, even though I'm not on the board, I just mean we as the group performs this way. We're very careful stewards with taxpayer funds. They strive to do their best. They're right there in the community where those assessments are happening, where those people live that are assessed, where those roads are that people ride. And so again, that challenge concerns me because I think what we've got is really good.
Thank you. Next, we have Roy Martin.
Well, I believe one of the biggest challenges for the township is the image. Like Justin said, you know, maybe running behind the scenes here, but at the same time, if we're offering all this assistance and we're doing things to help the community, the only way to help more is to allow people to see us more, see what we can do, what the options are. That includes making a much better website, you know, something user-friendly, something that shows everything that can and cannot be done. And getting the township's image out there more, because yes, townships could disappear, but it's a heck of a lot harder for them to, if people really know about them and understand what they're doing and how they're helping the community. It's not as hard if no one knows, you know, no one knows, no loss, no nothing. So, you know, I want people to be aware of the township and everything that it's doing.
Thank you. Next, we have Diana Carlisle.
One of the biggest challenges that I see is the lack of knowledge, as we've all discussed, with our constituents, not knowing that this level of government exists and can be very beneficial to them. And it is the lowest level of government, which is being looked at by the state. There is a House bill right now that has been put on hold to either consolidate or eliminate township government, because there are some townships in Illinois that only have 8 roads. So it's not useful to maintain, you know, a township level of government for 8 roads or 8 miles of road. So I understand their concern for consolidations. My only hope is that they don't eliminate it totally at the state level, because that would be a disadvantage to everyone, because it is, as I've mentioned before, I feel the most effective level of government out of the 5 levels of government that we have here. There again, we have the 3 main functions: general assistance, the property assessments, and the general assistance program, which can all benefit our community in numerous ways. We are able to reduce those tax levies, which is an advantage to everyone. And it also then lets us allow to do more outreach, and there's ways that we can become more visible. And again, we can bring the township government back to the people.
Excellent, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, we have Justin.
We're very fortunate as a Chatham Township that since I've been on and involved in some way, I feel it's been run very, very well. There's been some kinks, but not many. Thinking of a budget standpoint and a tax levy standpoint, I feel like this pandemic, we're not going to know the effects that it's had on everything, whether it be, you know, new residents, new developments. My biggest concern is that, and the challenge that I think we're going to face is we've been consistently, since I've been a part of this, lowering taxes for Chatham Township residents, and we have no idea what's going to happen after this pandemic. I mean, we may not feel the effects until a year or 2 years or 3 years down the road. So it really is going to take somebody that knows what's going on and who's been involved constantly for the last 8 years or so to really understand and prepare for the effects that we might face. There's been a challenge recently because of the pandemic that, you know, the contract assessor hasn't been able to get out and assess homes. There's a lot of rules that have been put in place, and that's going to be a challenge to overcome and get things going again. And I don't want to blame everything on the pandemic, but I think to speak to Roy's point, being more out there and making people aware of these resources is another challenge, which I feel I have a lot of great ideas about the website, and I feel like we could really implement those if I'm elected. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. The last question is just for the two township supervisors. We're going to start with Justin and then go to Diana. But essentially, what impact do you think the supervisor has on the image of the Chatham community as a whole? And how do you think the supervisor contributes to the success specifically of our business community?
Well, the supervisor I view them as no more than a guide. They don't really, yeah, when it comes down to a tie-breaking vote, they have that power, but the board, they're the bosses. Like, the supervisor shouldn't sway one way or another. They present the board, the motions, the issues, anything like that happens, and then they let the board decide. And then the board tells the supervisor to get it done, and the supervisor gets it done. And I'm pretty well known of getting things done. That's one thing. What was the second part of the question? Sorry.
How do you think the supervisor contributes to the success of our business community?
The business community really, in my opinion, staying on top of the assessor. The assessor really has to provide the most accurate information to the board, to the supervisor, and make those decisions, and then present it to the board. But again, the supervisor doesn't make a whole lot of decisions. It's mainly up to the board. They can present things how they want, and then the board decides which way they want to vote. But the board, they're the bosses. It's not the supervisor. The supervisor might check into more things and do some more work and all that stuff, but no, the board, they're the ones that make the decision. And if I can do a shout out to Roy and Dennis, they would be great members of the board. And that's it.
Thank you. And then Diana, same question. So what impact do you think the supervisor has on the image of the Chatham community, and how do you think the supervisor contributes to the success of our business community?
Sure, I'd be happy to answer that. I feel the supervisor is the leader of the township, and it's the most visible seen office and role. You're available to the constituents at the office when needed, and you have to be available and accessible to the township. I do have that capability since I do not have a full-time job. I feel like the supervisor, being the leader, sets the agenda, puts the motions on the table for the Board of Trustees to vote on, and is also a manager of and overseer of the road commissioner and the assessor. They both have their own separate budgets, but you have to be able to work with them and maintain theirs and make sure all the numbers are correct in going forward with their duties. So I feel we do, even though we conduct the meeting and we don't have any voting power as far as a tiebreaker, we're there to do that. But I feel like we've got to pull it all together in order to have a great meeting and have a great township.
Thank you. So that concludes my questions. The next section is just where I give you 2 minutes to wrap up or do your final commentary. We're going to start with Diane Roberts.
Great, thank you. So I've discussed earlier, what experience and what my life and work experience will be in contributing to my role as a Chatham Township trustee. My budget experience, my volunteerism. I think my experience with the Township Trustee Board and seeing what has transpired there in the last 4 years, which, as Justin says, has been some kinks, but to see the board work through these kinks, those are in the minutes. Diana championed the website. We've got the website on there so the minutes are posted rather than going and looking on the front door. So I've seen some great things happen. I've seen such good stewards of the township funds that I just really admire that. And I would like the community to know that when I take on a responsibility, I give it 100%. I take my responsibilities very seriously. I would research issues, bring information back to the board, and be a fully engaged member of the board, not just there for a yes or no to something that's put up for vote. So I would appreciate a vote. I would appreciate if you would vote me in for Chatham Township trustee. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Next, we'll have Dennis Wilkinson.
Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to again say thank you for this opportunity to speak to you all and answer some questions. You know, I decided to run for this, you know, to try to get involved in the community and give back, you know, any way that I can. You know, I think with my experience in the professional world, you know, in engineering and in leadership in a larger company, and you know, and then my experience on the board of directors for Mercy, you know, and other charities and organizations, you know, I hope to use those experiences to be a productive member of the township as a trustee. You know, again, I just really appreciate this opportunity and hope, you know, you can vote for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Roy.
Chatham community is a wonderful place, and I want to make it better. And I think that a lot of the items I can bring to this township will do that. You know, thinking fast on your feet, negotiating constantly, understanding things quickly. It's something that's inherent to me, but at the end of the day, I pretty much run my life by common sense. And I want to see that continue with Chatham. I want to see that with the board. I want to see that with the supervisor and the clerk, all the roles. Common sense leads the way. And I think we can get a lot done just using that methodology.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Justin Dasto.
Thanks again, everybody, for doing this and taking the time and effort and all that stuff. I appreciate it. And I apologize for being a little late. I've been involved in this township in these elected positions for quite some time, and you know, sometimes people like experience, sometimes they don't. It just depends. But no, I feel like in this case, I know the ins and outs. I've worked closely with everyone from the bottom up. Even, you know, like I said, I served on the village, the township building board of managers, and we did some really great things there. And I'm still proud of it. I know it's silly. Like, people might think like, oh, you lowered my taxes, you know, $20. Well, no, I'm proud of that. That was a great thing that we did. And same thing goes when I was on the board. We continue to lower taxes every single time, and we've been fine. And we've made really smart decisions, and I've been a part of that since, you know, almost a decade ago. And you know, again, townships is the lowest rung of political office, but these are things that I'm proud of, and I want to continue to do that, and I want to continue to be proud of the work that I do in this community. This is a way of me giving back. Like, I just, and whether people know it or not, like, this is something that I really want to do, and I have the time and I have the passion to do it. And I think that if we all get in, if Roy, Dennis, me, and the rest of the board get in, we're going to do some amazing things. And I really can't wait for that to happen. And I hope it happens. I'm good. Thanks.
Thank you. And Diana Carlisle.
Yes, I'd like to thank the chamber and the library for hosting as you said earlier, it's not often that the township candidates get an opportunity to speak. So I do truly appreciate this opportunity. And being the lifelong resident that I have, I feel that it is in my honor to continue to serve the community that I grew up in and help the township continue to grow and be successful in the stewards of our tax dollars. I feel that we have a lot of opportunity before us moving forward. We will have a new board. We will have new supervisor and assessor and a clerk. So there's a great opportunity for Chatham Township to continue to keep being successful, keep being an effective budget and maintaining everything that we've done up to today and continue to move that even better. And I'm proud to say that I've been voting in elections since I was 18 years old, and I look forward to continuing my civic duty and serving. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, the goal for tonight's forum was to incorporate a variety of questions that would help educate our citizens about the role of the township and about the candidates who are running for those. Our questions were selected and presented to all candidates without bias. So thank you again to our candidates for committing the time to tonight's meeting. I really appreciate it. The Chatham Area Chamber of Commerce and the Chatham Area Public Library are pleased to be able to bring this type of forum to our community on the, ahead of the April 6th Consolidated General Election. So for those of you watching, the Election Day voting will be on Tuesday, April 6th from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. Early voting options are available now. To find your polling locations or additional information on early and mail-in voting, please visit the Sangamon County Clerk's website at sangamoncountyclerk.com. Replay of this forum will be available on the website of the Chatham Area Public Library and the Chatham Area Chamber of Commerce, along with videos dedicated to all of the other races. Thank you again for your time, and thank you to our candidates for your willingness to run for office and to represent our community voice on the Chatham Township Board. So, thank you.